Hey guys, welcome back to Chaos Zero Nightmare. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the best teams in Zero's system. We've got a guest on who is Bread. Now, I will leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description. Now, I just want to do a quick disclaimer before Bread can introduce himself. When we talk about the best teams, the thing is, in the current state of the game, these games evolve so much through this early phase. And when we're looking at getting through Zero's system, we're talking about Bread is up to difficulty 10. I am only on difficulty 8 myself. A lot of people, when you enter, you're on difficulty 4 or 5 when you start. So it keeps scaling up. And keep in mind, characters on these accounts are still at level 50, not at level 60. So just take this with a massive grain of salt that this stuff will evolve over time. I wanted to put that in as a big disclaimer because everyone always goes, yeah, but you said this back then. So that's all out of the way, Bread. How are you, dude? Give us a bit of an intro to yourself, your channel, and what you do.
Yo, hi everybody, I'm Brad, and I'm very excited to be here. I have been playing this game religiously since it came out, like pretty much everybody else, I imagine, that picked it up. This game is so fun. I come from Etheria, where I started my channel, met my boy Vulcan, and I got rank 1 there, won a bunch of stuff, blah blah blah, and now I'm just enjoying my time in CZN.
100%. Now, if you don't mind sharing, because it's always good to know, are you a spender? Are you free to play? What's your general process?
Yeah, so I'm definitely a spender. I've always been a spender in these types of games. I don't have infinite money or anything, but I have spent about 1K on the game, which is obviously a lot. But I'm in Scarlet from Etheria, and their 1K is not as much of a lot.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, I got Brett on to talk about this stuff, but everyone that I've spoken to who is on difficulty 10 sort of has the general same consensus around what the number one team is, and then we're going to talk about some other options that you can go for as you try and scale through this. Now, we are also on my account here because sharing it through Discord, it just gets super messy if we try and jump on Brett's, but he might give me some B-roll to put on as we talk about stuff. Also, there's some issues with logins and logging in on different devices where Google bans things, and it's just messy logging into other people's accounts. So viewer summons on hold until they sort some stuff out on this game. But Brad, what at the moment, because you've done a max difficulty level 10, so level 10 on deep trauma. So you go into the purple mode. You can see here I'm on difficulty 8. What level is the world when you're on 10?
It starts at level 76.
Yep.
And the highest I've completed is level 81 enemies. Yep. But obviously the biggest difference is the different modifiers for the different difficulties. Because 76 to 81 is like slight difference, but you don't really feel it.
Yeah, and one thing I want to ask you before we go into the teams as well, because this is something a lot of people are probably curious about. I'm going to waste a bit of resources here, and I'm just going to merge a level 5 difficulty. And so with these, hopefully we see one, because I'm not going to do more than this because I hate wasting the currency. So here we got this one. This one's value is high, and if I go ahead and confirm that one, and I go to enter it, and I put it on deep trauma, it goes up to, your head's covering it, but it goes up to very high. And people are saying very high, and it's not saving just about anything. And it's still saving a bit, but it's still not saving very close. Now, when you're doing these level 10 difficulty runs, are you noticing a difference in the save, even though it still just says very high?
Yes, very much so. I started noticing it at 8, 9, that most of the things were starting to save. Especially when I was running deep trauma runs, because when it was just a regular and it was just very high but regular, then it was missing a few things. But when I put on deep trauma on 9, I was missing one card or getting the entire deck every time. And now that I'm on 10, it's been saving pretty much everything every time.
That's good to hear, because when I saw a level 10 screenshot and it was it's still only very high, I was like, oh, this ain't good. So I'm assuming it must have some sort of variance in the very high in the back end, hopefully at least from what we can assume. But that's the thing I'm enjoying about this game as well. Not everything is known. We're still exploring and finding out stuff as we go. So without any more, we'll have timestamps anyway, so hopefully people can jump around. But let's jump in and talk about the team. Now, once again, this is based on where everyone is at the moment, or the furthest anyone's at, which is is having level 50 characters. Now, you can still get your characters to level 60 after you hit account level 50. So once you get there, that is when it's going to become more accessible for a lot more people and a lot more team compositions. So what we're looking at now is in this early phase, pre-level 50. And what is sort of, and like I said, across the board, everyone I've spoken to who's cleared difficulty 10 or even difficulty 9, they see it as the most comfortable team to do it with. So hit us up, Brad. What is the team?
Yeah, it's Veronica, Khalipe, and Mika. And honestly, it's not even really close. My favorite team, which is Meilin, Veronica, Mika, I've also cleared 10s on Deep Trauma with, but it's way less consistent. The Khalipe team just does everything. It has crazy AoE, solid single target, and it has so much survivability.
Yeah, and I think the reason it's so strong is because when you get into those higher difficulties, like the shielding really starts to matter because they start hitting so bloody hard you can't heal through it. And the problem with a lot of teams is you like everyone's running Mika, but then if you're running a DPS and another support, you don't have the shield. If you're running a DPS and a different shielder, it almost feels like you don't have the output to be able to get through them. And so the magic behind Khalipe is that she brings shields and AoE damage, which is something that is so bloody hard to come by in this game at the moment. And then, so you've got shielding, you've got AoE damage, you've got Mika for the healing, and also Mika has the AP. And then the round out of that is Veronica, who then brings your card draw and also supportive damage with her ballistas. And I think it's just such a well-rounded team. And that's why I'm hoping I get Khalipe as fast as I can, because this team is just absolutely cracked in every essence. Now, I've heard from other people who are up to that higher difficulty as well that it's basically the cool thing with Khalipe is that even though she got nerfed from the beta, her plus Mika is kind of like just self-sufficient. And so she can almost be, and once again, we'll have to see how this evolves, but she can almost act as like a babysitter for your runs where you run those two and then whoever you want to build, and then anyone kind of slots in because they're pretty self-sufficient. Is that what you kind of see in that aspect, or you see something different?
No, I definitely agree that once you put in the Khalipe Mika, I've been putting stuff like Cassius, Magna, or Leia, whatever, you will usually clear.
Yeah.
Because Khalipe just does enough damage on her own to be able to clear things. It gets a little iffy on the 10s, especially on Deep Trauma, because you start needing a bit too much damage. So if you're running something like Orlea or Magna, or even a Cassius or whatever, it starts being a little slow at the damage part, and you just get wiped even through all the shields and everything. Yep. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. You can run a 9 and just get that good save data you need for your Cassius or something, right?
That's, yeah, 100%. So I think we'll go talk about these 3 characters individually that make up the team, because like I said, it's just such a well-rounded team. And then we'll talk about, you know, some other options and stuff like that. But the one thing I want to mention first off is the big thing is that the potential over here on her, she's got one of the best unlocks on the potential, in my opinion, which changes upward slash to target all enemies. Now, I'm curious if you actually use it, because that's her 2-cost ability, which once again can then proc her Celestial, or what do they call it? They call it Heaven now. I can't stop calling it Celestial. But do you actually use this basic attack, or do you still try and remove that?
Yeah, so it's definitely my last to remove, and it really depends on the deck. If the deck isn't that good, then it's going to stay in for the whole run. But if I start having 3 Vulture ejections, 2 Sword Aquillas, and 2 rallies, then I mean I'm just eating that thing out the window. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I mean the big thing about it is that being AoE from the get-go, your early parts of your run, it's just such an effective thing to have for your first 5 nodes that you go through as well. It just feels like it's such a valuable card because when we look at the Chaos runs, you've got to be going from the base. So to build from the base, it just feels like a nice little substitute card for her other abilities.
Absolutely. And I do think the strength of this team in general is just how good the base decks are and how strong the ability to work around different upgrades, and just you don't need anything specific. The decks, you're just going to be good even without any epiphanies really on these characters. You just add them on and get even better.
Yep, 100%. And I want to ask you about this one, Absolute Protection, because I know some people love it. I've heard some people don't like it too much. I want to see where you stand on this one.
Okay, so this one is very interesting because it depends on the deck that I get in different runs. In some runs, I use this a lot, and it's a very good card that brings me a lot of survivability. But sometimes it just starts rotting in your hand. If you have decks that are very slim with a lot of cycling and good cards in general, like just the general good decks, on like if you have a good deck on Veronica and Khalipe, then this card is usually bad in my opinion. But it is really good as a bridge or when your deck is kind of mediocre.
Yep.
Because you can save those off turns when you're like, okay, I didn't draw anything here, it sucks. Well, I can save some of the cards that might be good with other things you draw, and you basically get so much shield that it just saves you a turn. You'd like take a turn off.
Yeah. Do you ever use it in the strategy that you burn all of your AP and then play this as the last card? Don't get a shield, but
Yeah.
just so you can hold all your cards in hand?
Absolutely, absolutely. I do
Yeah.
that for sure. I think this team is one of the teams where I do that the least, but when I used Khalipe with Mei Lin, for example, I use that a lot because Mei Lin is so combo heavy, right? So that's very nice there. But since this team is just like, okay, I'll just click all the things and it works, it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, I want to quickly brush through each of the skills, and we'll do this for all the characters and find out like what your favorite epiphanies are on them without worrying about divine epiphanies and stuff like that.
Yeah. So for Vulture Ejection, it's kind of hard because the Divine Epiphanies are where it's really at. Those add some really banger stuff. Honestly, I just go for the middle one, which is just like straight numbers upgrade. The others are all like kind of worse because you want just what the base skill does. The others usually remove parts of what the base skill does.
Yep. You want the damage and the shield, and then you get the veil on top, and it's happy days.
Yeah, and I think the one to the right in certain setups can work. The one that's like 30% shield for each card in hand.
Oh, yeah.
If you have enough card draw and such, then yeah, you can run that and you just get a lot of shields. Sure, that works. But if you just want a baseline at the start, you get the Vulture Ejection upgrade early. Just go for the one that's like baseline.
Yep. Just
Really?
it keeps the fundamentals. Doesn't get too complicated.
One of the because sometimes they just do the baseline plus stats as well. So like
Yeah, you get those
either
random
you get like
upgrades.
yeah, Fortitude 4 for one turn or whatever. My favorite one there is counterattack actually. So if you get the baseline plus counterattack, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
My save from Khalipe is running 3 Vulture Ejections with counterattack. It's actually really nice.
Oh, that's really nice. Off turn. Yeah, 100%. And then Keela, like what are you looking at for this one?
I personally love the Silver Veil with the Veronica team. You just want more, so the one in the middle here, right? Just more Silver Veils is really nice because that's Khalipe's main damage is proccing that 3 Silver Veil damage ability.
Yep.
But the one on the left, the far left, is actually not bad at all either. Just more damage, and you can go for the one with Retrieve if you have a slower team. So if you're running Khalipe Magna or something like that, where your damage is a bit lower, then you can just spam this one, and it can be really fun.
Yep. That's dude. There is a ton of options as well. But the one thing to note as well is if you go for the one cost, it doesn't trigger the Celestial anymore, does it?
Yeah, but the one costs all of them have that they go cost +1. If you have Vulture Ejection in hand.
Oh, okay. So they still work.
Yeah, so none of the Aquillas don't work with Vulture Ejection, which is important to note. So just pick whichever one you feel is best in the situation.
Oh, perfect. Nice. All right.
But if you don't draw Vulture Ejection, they will only cost 1 though. Remember that. So if you have other Heaven cards, then they will not proc it.
Okay, perfect. So it's just the self synergy there.
Yeah, okay. Overpower, my least favorite skill on her. They nerfed this so hard from the beta. This used to have Heaven on it.
Yeah, you used to have the Celestial. Yeah, Heaven, yeah.
Yeah, and it was crazy then because you would just chain so many Heaven things in a row.
So do you normally
it's okay.
do you normally kick this one out of the build, or do you keep it in still?
Honestly, it gives enough shield that it's worth keeping, and you just need enough to cost things that it's like all right. I like the one that's for each card in hand plus 40% shield gain because the main point of me using it is just more shields. But the 2 tenacity damage to all enemies can be nice because some builds you get a lot of tenacity damage stuff.
Yeah.
There's a neutral card that's called Tackle that I actually really like on Khalipe. And if you do that and then you have tenacity damage on some other things, you can start breaking every single turn.
Yeah, that's
and that's
crazy.
really nice.
And especially like because she's AoE damage, if you hit those AoE, the smaller units, they normally got like 3 to 4 tenacity, so you can break them pretty quick and just keep charging through, which is really handy to stop those annoying, like whether they're debuffing or whether they're attacking you. So it allows you extra survival as well, not just through the shields, but through the fact that you're no longer actually taking the damage at all.
Yep.
And now Rally.
Yeah, so this one only really has in my opinion, you need to take one with Silver Veil to begin with on this. There's no real other option because Silver Veil is too important for the build. So the one on the right is straight out. But on the other ones, I don't like. Both of the ones on the right are pretty bad, and the other ones are all okay.
Okay, so the two on the left is your go-tos.
Yeah, and then in the middle is all right.
Yep.
It really depends. If you have a lot of 2-cost cards in your setup, then it's pretty good.
Because it's got the Heaven tag.
Honestly, I find myself using it for one to draw my 1 2-cost card I need a lot of the time.
Yeah, so this one
and then it costing 2 itself kind of messes up the combo.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, so these two basically the idea is you're either drawing your highest cost or a Heaven card, which both are cards you want to complete the combo that you're trying to do to then dump them out with your next card that you play. Is that the general concept?
Absolutely.
Yep, perfect. All right, well that's the Khalipe roster done. Once again, she's definitely my most wanted unit at the moment. Is there any other little text you want to talk about her, or that she's just still, even after the nerf, big shields, good damage, pretty consistent, and that basically sums her up?
Yeah, she's just so consistent. All of the different shitty builds you will end up with are all gonna work because she's just good.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, let's move on to Veronica, because I have my personal favorite build, but that's when I'm using her with my Rin. So I'm curious to see if yours is somewhat similar or if you go down a different path. My priority on her is to just load up on as many draw cards as I can and then just let the ballistas build up over time. And that's pretty much what I focus on.
Yeah, so actually, I do think you can go for a decent bit of damage on Veronica in this setup. Interestingly, I think Giant Ballista is the best thing you can go for a lot of other setups, but in this one, I do think that Enhanced Ballista and the one on the left, actually, I do think the one on the far left.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one thing to note is all the ballistas say they do extra attack damage. I just noticed that the piercing one doesn't say extra attack damage, so I'm not sure if it actually scales off of extra attack.
I'm unsure because the piercing one does way less damage. Sometimes it's a bit strange.
Yeah, it seems
so it might be that
buggy.
it does not scale. Unsure, but I rarely pick the piercing. Can be good to run a piercing loadout though for the weekly boss because he does big shields and you just pierce through it. It's kind of funny.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're right, because with most things I do, if I can get Giant, it's like the #1 most valuable, because most teams lack AoE. Because you're swimming in AoE, you reckon this chance at an additional ballista just adds more damage throughput?
Yeah, and it actually stacks very well with her reload mechanic, because reload will just make all of her ballistas do a lot. So adding another ballista is way more damage increase than making the one ballista have 30% more chance to crit or something like that.
And the other thing I want to add to that is if you happen to get that blessing at the start of one of the floors, where it's like when you create a card, you get like a 25 or 30% chance to create another one. If you then run this and you create 2, well, there's a chance to create 2 more. So you've just got overall more ballista generation in the chaos mode.
I have created 4 ballistas in a turn once. I remember that, and I was like, what?
All right, so that's it. And then we'll quickly talk on Repose and Sir Kowalski, because they're sort of the draw engine. That make it work. Is your go-to on this one just the 0-cost draw too?
Yeah, the 0-cost one, and then the one in the middle is the second best one.
Yeah, because it's kind of the same thing, because you're then saving it on the next one.
Yeah,
but if you draw 2 0-costs, this one's down the guts. But sometimes also you can't use it because you're out. So yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Left one is the top priority, and
left one is just like always gonna work. So that's my go-to. If I see it, I click it every single time.
Yep.
basically.
Yeah, there's no downside to a free draw too. Like, it's absolutely fantastic. And then on a similar note, Sir Kowalski. Now, Sir Kowalski, I can actually probably go to a build where you can get pretty crazy stuff. If I go to my actual build that I got. Now, it didn't fully save properly, but if we go to save data here, you can see I had this one here with the Epiphany to reduce cost. If you can get this thing, that just becomes even more crazy. In the way you play
my
it.
save data I'm using for Veronica has 2 of these and 3 of the 0 cost draw 2 reposes. So it's just 5 of the draw 2 for zeros, and it's very good.
Yeah, my actual run had 3 of this. It got rid of 1 and removed the Epiphany off 1, but dude, it's crazy. Like, and when you look at those plus repose and the amount of draw power she has, it's just quite crazy the amount you can actually get out of her.
Yeah, it is. And I do think for when she starts to feel really crazy is when you get all those upgrades. But importantly, people forget that this pendant actually is quietly one of her best cards.
Yep.
Because it improves her damage by a huge amount.
Now, another thing I want to make note of is that one of my runs, and this might be like an end game build thing you can do with her, is that you know those universal upgrades you can get? There is one for her, sorry, I'm going a bit off topic, but for this one, where it adds the, whatchamacallit, what's the dot debuff? My mind's blanked.
Agony.
Yeah, it adds Agony, and then you can actually get away with using the Agony set as well, just as a little tech option in the end game. But yeah, this one's crazy. Go through it.
You can get that on Pendant as well, by the way. I managed to get 2 Pendants with Agony and the Ballista with Agony, so it was doing 3 Agony AoE every turn.
Because I said it when we came into here, because I thought it was the Pendant. I'm like, no, because I was using it at the start of battle, so it must have been the other one. So I must have got it on both as well. You
can have it on both, actually.
Yeah.
So
is this your go-to on Pendant? Or do you have another?
I don't really care as long as I get to keep the upgrade, completely honest.
Yeah.
I think all of the ones that are not skill are super fine.
Yeah.
I think.
See, I really like this one.
Yeah, when you get the really.
Because
when you get the good Veronica builds, right? This one will work great.
Yeah.
But sometimes when she's like the one lagging behind a bit, then I like the one that's the one off the right. So yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to hit that reload cap.
Yeah.
So like, okay, I have a mediocre Veronica build. I just want her to do some damage. Then I really like this one actually.
Okay.
But otherwise, if I have a good Veronica, draws a lot, uses skills a lot, definitely the one on the left.
Yeah. So the one on the left, those that are looking at it don't know why. It's because it removed the word ally skill card. So when she uses her Sir Kowalskis or her reposes, which you ideally want to stack as many of those as possible to get the free draws, that's going to proc it. So she can self-sufficiently do it, depending on what your team is as well. So it's kind of a team-specific thing. But yeah, I do really like that one as well. Kowalski, we already went through him anyway, so let's dip out of that one. And talk about bombardment prep. I'm kind of mixed on this one. I feel like it depends on the build. Sometimes this feels really bricky in your hand and just feels annoying. But other times it's like, hey, we're getting free extra damage.
Yeah, honestly, I think with the Khalipe team specifically, you never really mind using 1 extra here or there, so it's never really a brick. But when I do run the Meilin team, I sometimes just don't use it when I have it in my hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a hit or miss card. When you have the big Veronica damage builds, it's good, obviously.
Yeah. And finally, we have the last one, which is Mika. Now, we're not going to go too fast on too slow on this one. We'll go through pretty quick because most people are pretty familiar with it. So let's just go through the source of water. What's your pick on this one?
So obviously, I think the -2 ally stress is really nice if you can copy it. That's like a cute thing you can do. But actually, I just really like the one that gives wave for consistency and doing those really fast damages really quickly.
Yeah.
You can start getting all that AP very fast, and that often ends up giving you less stress than the -2 ally stress actually a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So either of those, and importantly, the one with wave is way better as a save data. So just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, ally stress is only useful inside the run. So if you're doing a run where you're not trying to create a save data for her, then that one's okay. If I don't see the wave one, I sometimes take the retain just so I can choose when I want to use it, but I'm normally just spamming it out anyway. But I've honestly found that the exhaust for 3 AP is really not too bad either, especially if you're doing quick runs. It's kind of like the same principle as that gear bag, you know, especially if you've got a few of the gear bags as well, which is the neutral card, which is free combos and draws too. If you're getting a lot of draw power, then getting that extra AP for free to synergize with the draw power is actually a nice little synergy to test as well.
Yeah, I do really like the exhaust one when I'm running my million team since it actually kills really fast. So you never really draw into the source of water again anyways.
Yeah.
And then it's just 3 AP is amazing, of course. Yeah, but with the Khalipe team, you nearly always draw through your deck like 3 or 4 times per fight. So then the exhaust can really suck.
Yeah, the exhaust sort of, it's more for bursty type things. Now, do you get rid of the Whirlpool ASAP or do you keep it?
With the Khalipe team, you need the 2 costs actually. So keeping the Whirlpool can be quite good, especially early. If I have a very good Khalipe deck, I might get rid of it late game, but very rarely. Yeah. On the Mailin team, I eat the Whirlpool all the time.
Yeah, it's so funny because I love it that, like, you know, the different combos changes the way you play it, because Whirlpool for me, if I unlock it like at the very start, as soon as I hit a thing, that's the first thing I eject. I'm just like, in a lot of teams, it's just useless. But once again, you can actually get the triggers off of it, so it's not too bad in the team with Khalipe. And what about the others? Are you keeping all the others? I've had a bit of a debate on Deluge.
Well, Deluge is very good if you have E6 Mika.
True, my Mika has nothing. So
important. So if you have E6 Mika, you start with 2 wave. And you start with Deluge in your hand,
and it has,
which means that Deluge will pay for itself.
Yep. So you just play it. So you basically one card down in your starting hand. It pays for itself, and especially if you're doing a team that cycles through more turns and you're not doing a bursty team, then it's very valuable. Yep. But yeah, if you're doing a combo trying to one turn it, then obviously it's not as good. But no one's really there yet anyway. But yeah, I've been having that discussion on like just general card game math of like, okay, you lose a card from your starting hand to play it for free, but if you're not getting to the point where you get an extra wave, then it's actually not worth it. But in a lot of cases, you're actually playing for the longer term, so that's all right. What's your favorite one on this bad boy?
I like the one that's upgrade in general, the 2 wave, and then you have plus 50% healing period.
Yep.
It's just very nice. Removes the card from your deck because the card is kind of but it's not bad enough that I usually remove it. So this just lets you cast it and you have 50% more healing forever, and that's just good.
Yeah, especially when you get to those higher levels where the damage starts really starts to matter, and you need to heal up and shield through it all. The only other one I really pick is like sometimes the 2 wave is not horrible on like the general play, but I actually don't mind this one on the left when I run her with Tressa, just because it's an extra heal, which can make Tressa generate daggers.
Yeah, that's nice. I actually like the one that's plus 100% on healing when you run with the... Because the other skill has retain that she has, right?
Yep. The big heal that heals based on AP.
Yeah, so you can stack a really big turn, get like 6 AP, do 100% more healing, and you can heal like 1.2k in one go.
That's crazy. That's a big combo. 100%.
Yeah, so that definitely is a thing to consider with that one. So if you have a good blessing of waves, like one that Divine upgraded, for example, or something like that, then I really like
the shielding one. I actually really like
the shielding one is my go-to as well.
Yeah, if you can get that with a Divine that makes it 0, or basically just any Divine, that's huge, because then you can just use it and it's like extra shielding on top if you got a burst window. I mean, maybe not as important when you've got Khalipe, but when you don't have a shielder, like it's so valuable to allow yourself to mitigate.
I love that with my Million team, because you can basically just like do 700 shield in one turn and just negate whatever the boss is doing, right?
Yeah,
and that's really nice.
And so your go-to is to ditch the basics, keep these.
Water arrows is my first ditch on every run with everything.
Yep,
because it's just so bad. Yep. And then the water berries I usually ditch later. Sometimes I keep one of them if I feel like it's a really needing healing heavy run. But usually I ditch all of them.
And just to recap on that team, we pretty much covered it, but I want to recap. What's your duping priority on Khalipe? Vulture ejection?
Yeah, you always want two vulture ejections if possible. Like it makes a huge difference for how good the deck feels to have a second one. And then actually, I really love duping rally.
Yep.
If you have a good rally, you can dupe that to two or even three times sometimes, and I think
It's
it's
the
sometimes just
searching.
better than having like multiple vulture ejections because they can sometimes get drawn together and be awkward. Rally is never awkward.
Yeah.
It's just really nice,
Yep. The one thing
and it
is,
gives a lot of shield.
there's none that, yeah. The one thing is because it's kind of like the Rin play where you get a card that searches her two best attack cards and then you just rinse through, and so that you have just one copy of the attack cards, but then you get like 3-4 copies of the search card. Is really good. But this one doesn't grab anything from the discard pile, does it?
No, it does not. It does not. But it's still really good because usually you have other ways to draw and recycle your discard pile when you're playing with Vero, for example.
Yep.
So not really an issue in my experience, but yeah,
Yep.
it's very nice.
And then how about over here with Veronica? Like for me, I'm always Sir Kowalski and Repose if I have a good version of them for the extra draw power. Do you ever do
Yeah,
anything else?
for me, I usually don't do Kowalski unless I hit the divine ones because when they cost one,
Yeah.
then they can be a bit gumming up your hand sometimes. So, but the zero cost repose, I just copy that whenever I see it and I can, basically.
Yep. Yeah. So it's number one is the zero cost repose, unless you hit a divine on this, because then it just offers more on
Yeah, exactly.
the
Then
draw
it's just a
two.
better version, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Funny
100%.
enough, you can hit zero cost draw three on repose if you get lucky.
I've never had that, but wow, yeah, that would be insane getting a zero cost draw three.
Yeah, I have a friend that has a deck with two of those in it. It's pretty nutty.
So you hit that, and then the additional divine effect is draw
Draw
one.
one.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
even just getting it with an AP boost would be sick. Yeah, the divines just add so much to it, and I think the thing that's great about it, like about this game, is no one's build is ever going to be the same because you're not going to have the same raw stuff with the same divines at all. Like it's crazy.
Yep.
And then finally with Mika, you're normally doing source of water, or you get looking at something else to do.
Yeah, duping source of water is always the best. Like
Yeah.
I don't really dupe anything else from Mika.
Yep, yeah, pretty standard. Now, like you said, from your testing, what other teams are you cooking up that you think are going to be more viable? And just as like a hypothetical, because obviously we're not there yet. Once we get characters to level 60, like what do you think it's still going to be? That's like sort of going to be your go-to team, or do you think it's going to free up? Now, obviously you can't know because we don't know stat levels and stuff like that. But often I find in these games, once you like, this early game, it has one set meta, and then once you get to level cap, it frees up for a lot more things. So just any general thoughts?
Yeah, so I mentioned it a few times already, but my favorite character to play is actually Mei Lin. She's so fun to me. I happened to get a bunch of her dupes for no reason when I was pulling. I got like 3 Mei Lins and 30 pulls at one point, and I was like, yo, I gotta play this character. Funny enough, I go into the Eagles and I see, wait, these don't do anything.
Yeah, really?
She has the worst dupes in the game. Um, Full disclosure, I have E3 Khalipe, so that's great and all that, whatever. But I could have an E0 Maylin and it would not make a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean,
So-
she's pretty cool. I have been also liking Rin. Have you played Rin at all?
No, I just recently pulled her like 2 days ago. I did not have her. She was the only one I didn't have.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
No, I feel like these lower cost characters are just like a more enjoyable play style for myself. But yeah, I feel like in general, Mei Lin with implanting weakness or being able to weak hit all the time, and then just having like the rotational combo of zero cost, get 2 zero costs and swing with zero costs and just keep rinsing through. It just seems like a really just clean play style, especially also just using basic attacks means you actually take advantage of all these potential upgrades that a lot of others don't.
Yep. Absolutely. And I do think she is decently consistent because there's quite a few different epiphanies that work well on her. You just kind of have to figure her out a bit because she has a few different combos that work well together.
Yeah.
You can't really just plug and play literally everything. You just click the best epiphany every time. You kind of have to, okay, I have this one, then I'm going for this one. And go like that a bit.
Yeah.
And that's really fun to me because you do the deck building every run.
Yeah, like and like depending on what's gone where, you can adjust from there. Now, one other thing I want to say is, have you like done any high level clears without Mika?
Yes, I have.
Okay, what
Actually,
team was that?
I replaced Mika with. So for one, I've done Veronica, Khalipe, Maylin, and it's actually cleared. I've cleared difficulty 9 with that. I haven't tested 10 yet,
Jeez, that's not bad.
but yeah, that cleared pretty well actually. Funny enough, but yeah, just Khalipe, Veronica can clear with a lot of things. I've cleared with Magna as well. I actually cleared a 10 with Khalipe, Veronica, Magna.
Yep.
I tried with Orlea and I just could not get her to work. She was just too slow for 9s and 10s in my experience. Maybe I didn't have good enough gear on her or something, but I just didn't vibe really.
Yeah, I've never been interested
yeah.
too much in Orlea, but that's me.
Yeah, so the characters I have upgraded myself right now are Maylin, Veronica, Magna, Khalipe, and Orlea. And I have a Haru that I was using until level 40, but I just really don't like playing her.
Yeah.
She's obviously really good. You can run Haru, Khalipe, Mika, and that's really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just not my style.
Yeah, I mean, I just pulled a Haru last night, and she's just sitting benched. The playstyle just ain't it for me. I know some people are loving her, especially people with a couple dupes. But you said you got a couple dupes into her and still weren't overly impressed. And that's not saying impressed in the damage. It's just the playstyle, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Her damage was okay, like it was fine, but it didn't feel like anything crazy. And you had to get like pretty good decks for her to feel good, I feel.
Yeah.
She was way less consistent than, for example, Mei Lin, or just running Magna in the same slot or something like that for more shields or etc. And yeah, that just made me not like her that much because I had a run or two where she was like, "Oh my god, she's doing a billion damage," and then the other runs she was hitting like a wet noodle.
Yeah, it's kind of that one, and especially with the chaos mode, like Khalipe, her base kit's really good, and then you just add to it. Mei Lin, her base kit's really good, and then you just add to it. Like even Hugo to some extent, because I play Hugo a lot. Like his base kit's fine because you got the Outbreak of War on this ability that is like his core ability. Now you can Epiphany and not get the Outbreak of War, and it bricks your run, which absolutely sucks. Not bricks your run, but makes it a bit more difficult. But like things like Haru and like even Rin, because you got to play around everyone else's basic attacks before you get rid of them. It just makes them a bit more catered towards getting the full deck built before you can really feel comfortable in the playstyle through the roguelike. Is that kind of the vibe you're getting? That, and that's why like
Yeah,
Khalipe, Mei
definitely.
Lin are just comfortable?
Yeah, and I felt like when I was running Haru that Khalipe was carrying until Haru came online, and then sure, Haru was wiping everything. But I would just much rather have Veronica or something in that slot that always works.
Yep. Yeah, fair. Is there anything else that you want to touch on from your experience so far, or just leave it there?
I have a lot of people in the discords I'm in that are saying Renoa is super good and fun. They
Yeah,
are
I've been
doing
seeing some stuff. I actually,
bajillion damage with her.
yeah,
and
I
she seems
I
super
pulled one
fun.
as well on my standard banner pity. So yeah, I might have to cook her up. But yeah, she's just, and I think with her, she's a very combo heavy. You need to learn the character to play her well type situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. I heard a lot of people say like, okay, oh, I get her now, and then they were starting to blast. You know?
Yeah. Have you heard anyone doing things with Luke? Because Luke seems to get.
Yes, actually, I don't know if you know him, but Yongyo from EWS,
Yeah.
he is running Luke as his main.
I'm gonna have to get him on for a
My
chat.
boy.
Do you know how high in difficulty he is?
I think he was doing 8s and 9s last I heard from him, but he hasn't been talking as much in the chat. But he's been looking it up, and actually, I out of nowhere pulled a bunch of Lukes when I did a bit of pulls yesterday.
Yeah.
So I happen to have an E4 Luke with his partner. It's the one of two partners I've actually pulled.
Yeah.
And so I think I might up Luke next, man. It seems cool trying to make him work.
let me know how it goes. Because, yeah, I think Luke's just got a sick vibe as a character. And I like his
Oh, yeah,
play style
definitely.
and the bullets and stuff. But obviously, I was hell-bent on getting Hugo. And that's what I was looking at. But I think Luke just looks like a lot of fun. Very similar to the Renoa style play. They just look like fun characters to combo off of. So, yeah, I definitely think those are two. Like, Renoa definitely seeing her value. Like, people are definitely showing that she is strong. And I think that's the great thing. Like, even if you talk about, like, everyone's always like, who's the best character? Who should I reroll for? I think if I was starting a fresh account, like, I'd probably just go Khalipe because she seems like just safe. Like, we talked about, like, the progression with Mika and her, pretty solid. But, like, in terms of who's going to be the best, like, I feel like every character has the potential to be absolutely insane if you get a good deck built around them and a team built around them. And the cool thing is, as we go on, they introduce new equipment in the roguelike. They introduce new epiphanies, like random epiphanies. And like, there's just going to be a lot of spice that I feel like everyone's going to have their place.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I personally, my favorite character to go for if I was making a new account would probably be Veronica, just because I use her in pretty much everything right now. And she's just so nice for making the decks feel fun. She's cycling through it all. She's making the damage happen every turn. You never have an actual full dead turn, things like that. She just makes the game feel always pretty fun to play to me.
Yeah, it's always really live and active because you're always drawing, doing stuff. Like her base deck with these 4 cards is pretty average, but at least you do get that one ballista that does a little bit of damage at the end. But once you unlock everything in it, and then especially once you start getting some epiphanies, she just snowballs so damn hard. And the great thing is 3 of her cards are just upgrades and 2 of them are draw power. So you get rid of 3 of them straight away. And then the other 2 are just there to help to like just churn your engine. So there's no like, she just speeds everything up. So that's a great call.
Yeah, and I do think that when you get good enough gear on Veronica, when you actually put good damage gear on her, she starts doing good damage. I have runs when I run Meilin Veronica. Veronica is out damaging Meilin, actually.
So are you saying that my gear isn't good enough?
Sir, I may be so crass. Yes.
I've been working on my Hugo. Give me a break, all right? I've been working on the big dog.
I'm joking, buddy. I'm joking. Don't worry about it.
You know, because I've been so locked in on getting my Hugo decent, and then I just went, well, my main team is with Tressa, and then I looked at my Tressa, and I'm like, wow, she's ass as well. And then I went to my Mika, and I'm like, oh, she's ass. So I just went with whatever to get the right main stats on the right hand side. But yeah, I'm still trying to farm that attack, the crit damage, the attack, and the what's it called, the agony gear.
Agony.
And then I'm gonna go farm the defense and the HP because a lot of the 4 pieces are just arse. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the strength of, because I've spent my last 2 days stamina fully in the 0 system.
Oh yes, because now you get you get the 3 drops. Yeah, so you're just grinding.
And funny enough, it only drops right side pieces.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Actually. Yeah, it's actually good. So you start getting those right main stat right side pieces, which you don't really get that very fast from farming the regular memory fragments, actually.
Ah, that's a really cool little tech. But obviously you need to farm regular to get these ones, so it still has a place for both.
When I hit 40, I farmed memory fragments for like 1.5 levels or something purely. Yeah. And then I leveled up my characters to 50, but I only leveled my main team and Khalipe.
Yeah.
So then I've just been spamming all my stamina into the 0 system, and I've dropped a lot of good gear.
Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, I was happy. I finally got some decent pieces on my Hugo. This one's not great. It's got a bit of crit damage, but we got the order damage with some extra damage. They're not great, but you're just trying to get something half decent on these things with the right main stat, and then away you go.
I got a pretty crazy one on my Veronica, actually. Crit main stat with, I think it was 18% crit damage or something.
Damn.
Substat.
That's crazy. That's
that's pretty lit.
Yeah. All right, we're starting to get off topic, so I am going to can the video here. But Brad, I really appreciate you coming on. Once again, I will have Brad's channel in the description. He'll probably you've already uploaded one run. You're probably going to be uploading more of this like real hyper sort of high end type content. So make sure you go check Brad out. Brad, thanks for coming on, dude. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'm planning to upload some guides for my specific teams as well. But I'll also just be doing the full runs that I've been doing now and streaming. Yep.
Sick. Make sure you go check it out once again. Show him some support. Dude's doing great work over there. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.